Hey, beautiful people. So, one thing that I just realized is I never really show you all how I actually prepare for a podcast episode. There are a few things that I do, and so I'm going to talk about it real quick. And these things that I do, they're very important because I set the tone for any atmosphere, any room that I stand in, right? And I'm very intentional about the way that I do that. So first things first is this is my new microphone. I'm just learning settings on it, and I absolutely love it. So, I check my microphone check 1, 2, 3, microphone check 1, 2, 3. And one thing about me, I don't know if you all know this, but I am a jewelry designer. Queendom started as me being a jewelry designer. That's all that I did for almost 5 years, was just design custom jewelry. I did a lot of private label stuff as well, but that's another video. But I always have jewelry on. I have all kind of stuff that I've made. It's all inspirational jewelry. If I have anything on, there has to be some type of meaning to it, something that I can relate to, or else I'm not wearing it, right? So one thing about me is I always have my mother's picture. This is a charm that I made. This is my mother's picture. And there's a little small charm behind it that says believe. And so one of my favorite scriptures in the Bible is Luke 1, 4, and 5. If you don't know what that says, please read it, ladies. Luke 1, 4, and 5. Psalms 46 and 5 is my second favorite scripture. One thing that I'm intentional about is things that I have within my atmosphere, okay? And so I do have a candle and scent line. I'm currently burning Sinai, which is in the back burning. Then I also have, if you can see behind me, wax melts burning, which is my wax melts here. And then I have my book of prayers. So I always say a prayer before I go on, and then I start recording, and I ask God to just give me the right words to let me connect with the women. I pray that they feel safe and that they feel comfortable enough to be vulnerable to share their stories, because it can be very difficult to get in front of people that you do not know and talk about the things that you've been through. These are remarkable women, and I'm so very proud of them, and I make sure that I tell them how proud of them I am, because for a very long time I would not talk about the things that I've been through because I was ashamed, I was embarrassed. And I just didn't like the emotions that it brought up when I would talk about those things, because I was still hurting, right? Still angry, still upset, still a lot of different things. So I'm so very proud of them. I also have my journal that I write in. Even as I am recording and I'm talking to women, I still write things down. And that's how I base questions off of things that I write. I am a writer. I write in my journal. And I just believe in the power of writing. And then I also have Queendom's playlist, and I post this playlist all the time for ladies. And I actually created this playlist, not just for me, but I created for the women who follow me, because I know that there are a lot of things that we're going through, even though we don't talk about it. Sometimes we don't trust people enough. Sometimes we just don't feel safe enough. Sometimes we just don't like people in our business because they need to mind their own, right? So it's just a lot of different things. We don't want to be judged. Sometimes we like to protect people. We don't want people to see the people we love in a different light. There are just so many reasons why we don't really share some of the things we're going through. And sometimes we don't even realize that there's a problem. It's just kind of like a lot of times we make excuses for situations, we make excuses for people, and we don't really realize that we're making excuses because we've been in this situation so long that it's just normal to us when it's really not normal. But that's another episode. But my songs that I put on this Queendom playlist, ladies, they got me through a lot of things. There are old school, there's some fast, upbeat, there's some different songs that just had me crying. Like through the whole song I cried. I know just about every word of every one of these songs that are on the playlist. And what I'm listening to now is Ty Tribbett, Mighty Long Way. Mighty long way. He brought me from a mighty long way. He brought me from a mighty long way. Ladies say, things I used to do. Things I used to do, I don't do no more. Listen, ladies, Queendom Conversations playlist. I love that song because God has brought me a mighty long way. I used to be the mute in the trailers in the back of a classroom because I would not talk because I stuttered so bad. And so for me to be in that place, and now I'm on my own platform interviewing remarkable women who are telling their stories and standing in their truth, is a testimony in itself. Songs have got me a lot of places spiritually and emotionally, and even sometimes mentally, because sometimes we can overthink situations, we can doubt situations, we can second guess situations, we can feel alone, we can feel empty, we can feel depressed, we can feel stuck. There's so many ways that I was feeling, and I did not know how to express myself, didn't feel like I had anybody that I could express myself to, and I would put my songs on. And I would sit in a room and I would cry, and I would just cry, and I would just cry. And then I realized that even though I am crying, God understands what these tears mean. And when I understood that, then life started to change for me, because I realized that I am not alone. The Lord knows how I feel. The Lord is going to work this out for me. I was not strong enough to be able to work through situations on my own. I was not strong enough to be able to let certain situations go. I was not physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually strong enough to handle things on my own. And I had to learn to turn it over to God. That is why I'm here where I am today. This lady sitting here, I am stronger than I've ever been in my whole life. And God has brought me a mighty long way. Do you understand what I'm saying? I come from nothing. When I tell you I come from nothing. Nothing. And I am not ashamed to say that. I am not ashamed to talk about my journeys, my testimonies. I stand in my truth. And I know that my story is going to help somebody. There's somebody who's going to see this video of me getting prepared for my episodes, and they're going to be encouraged, because my words matter and your words matter. And our stories and our testimonies and our tears, everything that we have been through, they matter. And don't let anybody tell you that they do not, because they are a lie. You matter. And I can really get to going, but I'm not, because I have an episode. Right? But Mighty Long Way is what I'm listening to. Kween Conversations podcast. You have to be very intentional about what you fill your spaces with. And it's one more thing, ladies. God is faithful. That's all I have. I have an episode. Y'all be encouraged, okay? I started this podcast because I wanted you all to understand that you are not alone, and somebody understands what you're going through. Suicide rates are sky high. Depression rates are sky high. Anxiety rates are sky high. There are so many women who are hurting and going through things that you're sitting next to every day, and you have no idea that they are thinking about taking their lives, okay? You have no idea that the depression medicines they're on. You have no idea about the sleepless nights they have, and the pain, the sorrow, the reject. Like, you have no idea. You don't know their stories. You don't. And you'll never know. But I don't want you to feel like you don't make a difference, because you do. You're here for a reason. You just have to figure out, like, you need to pray and lean into God and pray and ask God, what is my purpose? Why am I here? And be still long enough for God to answer it. I have a multitude of gifts. I don't just operate from one gift. I don't just flow from one gift. God has given me a multitude of gifts. And in this season, I am operating out of several gifts. And whatever door God opens for me, I'm going to walk through that door. Without fear, without doubt, without second guessing. Because any door that I walk through, you better believe that God went through that door before me, or I would not be there. I am not in a season of fear and what ifs and whys, trying to figure things out. I'm in a season of flourishing. I'm in a season of new things. I'm in a season of speaking life. I'm in a season of believing what God has showed me. Like, I'm in a totally different season. I'm in a season of overflow. I'm in a season of letting folks go. Okay? Today. So I have an episode. I need to do a few prayers, get my music going. I got it smelling good in here with my Sacred Space collection. Life is good. And I'm grateful. And I'm really excited to see where God is going to take me. I'm so excited. Scriptures that I stand on, and then I'm going to go. Psalms 46:5. God is in the midst of her, and she will not fail. Luke 1:4-5. Blessed is she who has believed the promises of the Lord. There is nothing anybody can tell me about what God can do and what they think I should do and what I should stop doing and what's next. Blessed is she who has believed the promises that the Lord has given her. That's it, and that's all today, ladies. I hope that this puts something on your spirit, that it encourages you, and that you make today an amazing day. Whatever it is that God is telling you to do, whatever you're waking up in the middle of the night about, whatever thoughts that you just can't let go, and you don't know how you're going to do it, you don't know why you're doing it, nobody understands why you're moving the way you're moving, but you know what God has showed you. Just keep going. And this time I really have to go because I do have an episode in literally 10 minutes. Kween Conversations podcast is on every podcast platform in audio, and it is on YouTube in video. Please support these ladies. Watch the videos because it took a lot of courage for them to be able to stand in their truth, especially when they've been silent the whole life. Again, I am Demira Virgil. This is Queendom Conversations podcast. I do get emotional when I talk about this because I am a survivor, and so I understand. I'm not just on here just talking just to be talking. I'm talking to you about things that I know. I'm talking to you about things that God has delivered me from. I'm talking to you because I am in a complete season of restoration, and God did that for me. I'm not talking about something that I just read about in a textbook. I am a walking, living testimony of what God can do. So, again, I got to go, ladies. Please don't get me started. I can listen to me. I can go on all day about how good God has been to me. The more I talk, the more I think about it. The more conversation I have. And I appreciate y'all for supporting me, for watching the videos, and just coming on here to see what I'm doing, because there's a lot of things that you could be doing, and you choose to come over here and just take a look and see. Let me see what Demira got going on. I'm just getting started.